Aloha guys, welcome back to the shop. Hey, remember that video when I told you guys how I lost my foil board and I had to wave it goodbye in 25 knots of wind, and how I swam to shore, and then how we went to Lanai and tried to find and recoup the foil board so I could finally wing foil again? Well, it was gone. You guys know that, you've seen the video, but now somebody heard me and I finally have a replacement, and today I want to talk about this. So boy, do I feel lucky or what. My buddy Army Armstrong, the man, the legend, he heard me. He's like, Mike, I can help you out. I'll help you out. You're a good guy. We're working together. I'll hook you up. I'll help you out with a new board. And here it is. I got a new board. I am so stoked, you guys. And I thought the leastest I can do is at least we do a review video on how I am transitioning from a 95 liter board down to a 75 liter board, and how I'm thinking like this was the best that could happen to me. So let's get started. First, of course, he comes in a nice bag. I'm always stoked on the nice Army Armstrong bags here, but we are not here to talk about a bag. No, you should have the latest because I'm sure it's gonna get some good exposure. I'm like, yes, I'm happy to give you some exposure. And of course, I have ridden this board already a couple of times. And first, you know, from a donkey perspective, since I'm not a pro or anything, I'm like, oh, 75. I was actually initially going with the one larger, and like, no, 75 is fine. So 5'2", 75 liters. And you know what? First, I felt really comfortable on it. I am just about 75 kilos, and you guys know the formula, 20 liters plus your body weight. So that would have been 95 liters, which I had to begin with, which was really good to carry me. But 75 liters actually just works for me too. Yes, if you're a beginner, then not. Then definitely stick with that formula. But the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is because I'm getting up on this board on my knees. I need to be able to slog and be on my knees. And the first thing that I noticed is with that recessed deck, and we know that FG boards from Army, they're all kind of like with that recessed deck. I'm sure you can see that here. And that was the first thing, is like how comfortable it is to kneel in this, because I am placing my knees side by side right here next to each other to kneel in it, and it really gives me a really secure kind of a stance. So that was the first thing that I was stoked on. And the second thing, same thing when I'm standing on the board, when I'm standing a little bit deeper down, just kind of like those recessed deck boards with SUPs, with the race boards. You've seen those. When you stand a little deeper, it just gave me a sense of somewhat of a security. Then of course, negative point that you might think was like, you know, but if you're paddling, you know, sometimes you have to lay down, and if really there's no wind, you got to paddle back to shore. But even laying down on this and paddle out into the wind line or paddling back from the wind line was actually very, very comfortable. So I'm super stoked on that. First impression. And then the second thing, of course, is like, oh gosh, how far forward can you move that mast? So I'm totally new to this and totally kind of scared of the lift. So I'm putting this way back here. I'm riding it on a 2. So that's back here. I'm riding this on a 2. So my mast is back here. And I'm riding this on a 1550. So tip top, it came out of the water, just 2-3 pumps, boom, comes out of the water. And then again, you know me, like, oh, sometimes you come down. Have you ever had this when you're wing foiling and all of a sudden you're kind of like hitting a chop or hitting a bump, or you just come down too close to the water, and instead of the board actually grabbing the water, and I shit you not, instead of grabbing the water, I'm bouncing right back. I can't really explain this. I'm not a board builder, but I want to definitely say it's got to have something to do with that rocker that we have here. I'm pretty sure you can see that. It has this rocker and then this double concave here. And when you come down, like, the water must be getting just pressed to the side, and the board, it really feels like the board wants to pump kind of bounce back, so at least that it feels to me. So I was very, very pleasantly surprised with the way just the board handles itself. And then of course, again, coming from a 95 leaderboard, where I was standing always like either on top of the mast or in front of the mast. And now I have this experience, and of course I'm playing around with this a little bit. So I'm moving the mast forward, and I'm putting this footrest, which I haven't quite dialed in quite yet, so that's why I don't have a screw here up front. So I kind of put it further back, and I mostly ride my foot right here against this here. And if you see where my foot is in compare to the mast, then I have my foot pretty much here. So it's definitely behind the mast. So that's kind of like where I'm at, even a little bit further. Like right now, my hands are kind of parallel. Not like this, my hands are just kind of parallel. And I was like, wow, I have my foot behind the mast. How does that feel? And then how does it jibe? So I'm kind of jibing around with it. And I was really, really stoked to see how tight of a turn I can take with a board like this. And mind you, I was still on a 1550. I have not tried this board out with a smaller wing than a 1550. And I was really able to turn this board on a dime, because I don't know how to do a tack. So when I want to go upwind, I have to do a really tight jibe, so I'm not losing too much ground, because yeah, I want to go upwind. So that was another thing, was like, wow. And now I really can't wait to put this mast once all the way where it is here, like halfway, like almost in the middle of the board, which is crazy to think for most foil boards. And I'm kind of looking around, everybody's like, the foil masts are mainly back here. So that was also another thing that really got me excited. And then also what is really a minor detail but makes such a big difference is a handle on both sides, because my old board did not have that. You can't wrap your hands around to this, so having a handle on the underside is just so important. And Army's old boards did not have that. And here, what did they do? They put a handle right through as a hole. Why to put two handles when you can put one straight through? So I thought that was kind of clever. Nobody's doing that yet. I mean, one handle schmandle, I mean, the one way or the other, you know, you're carrying your board, and if he has two, it doesn't matter. But I thought it was kind of nifty. It's definitely kind of nifty. Another thing that I haven't tried out yet, and I'm sure we're going to have a video about it, is going to be foot straps, because I'm not too sure on this foot strap situation, but I like to get to the point and progress to the point where I can use foot straps and catch air like the cool kids on the beach. That is something that I want to be able to do. And one thing that I also definitely pay more attention to now that I have a board again and I cannot lose another board is, guys, pay attention to your leashes. I will never go out ever again without double, triple checking my leash. And what I did here with this leash, and I'll open it up real quick to show you, because what happens is this is actually the leash plug that was on this board when I lost my board, but this knot opened up. And now I will always have double my leash, my little leash plug string here. Instead of having it like this, where the knot just sucks into the hole here, or have it the other way around like this, I will double this up. I will always have this as a double. So that is my new thing now, the way I'm gonna attach my leash, because it's not a lake, it's an ocean. You're going out at sea, and sometimes you're out a kilometer, 2 kilometers, mile and a half. If you lose your gear, man, you're in shit, man. You're in deep shit. Believe it from me, I have experienced this. It feels pretty lonely, pretty fast out there. So make sure, safety first, leashes checked, board checked, screws checked. You don't want to lose anything out there. And with this being said, this wraps this video up. Thank you so much, Army, for this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.